Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about blind spot monitoring in our Tesla. Don't get me wrong, I love my Tesla. I love all the features it comes with, all the software updates and all the awesome just software installed in the car. But I wish it did one thing better, which was blind spot monitoring. When you do turn on your turn signal and there's a car in your blind spot, the Tesla will give you an indicator that there's a car there. But I want that indication that there's a car in my blind spot before I turn on my turn signal. This product we're going to be talking about today accomplishes just that. Let's get into it. So jumping right into the unboxing, I want to give a huge shout out to Tesla for sending this blind spot monitoring kit over to me. This is a brand new product. It's only been out for a couple of weeks now. So I'm really glad to get my hands on it and show you guys what it's all about. It's a really simple kit. As we open it up here, you'll see how simple it is. You get a trim tool. You get the actual blind spot monitors themselves. These are actually going to go up in our dash vent, and you'll actually highlight when there's a car in your blind spot. How simple is that? Couldn't be much simpler than actually just some plugs to plug it in, give it power, plug it into your ODB port down in your Tesla. I'll show you where all these wires go. Couldn't be simpler install. I'm really excited to get into this with you guys. Let's head over and do it. So before I start any electronic upgrade to my Tesla, I want to turn off the car as much as I can. Over here in our home menu, if we go down into the safety menu, and all the way to the bottom, you can scroll down and you'll see this power off button. Go ahead and turn off the car. Then we can actually go ahead and get started in plugging in some of the equipment. So down in our passenger side is where we're going to be installing most of the wires to the car. And then I'll show you exactly where to route the wires so you can get the blind spot monitors in the correct spot. Super simple. You don't have to take apart your dash or anything else for this. You're just kind of going to be routing the really flat wires along the grooves that are already in your Tesla. So the first things first, we need to remove this triangular trim panel. So just get your trim tool, and it's just held in by 3 different clips. And there you go. Your panel pops right off. The next step is take off this piece of trim right here. So it's held in at one little post down in the bottom and one clip right at the top. Let's go ahead and pull that out here. Just go ahead and pop that out with your finger. Pull it up. The next step is going to be removing this kind of trim panel down here that goes down along your kind of passenger door. And this is plastic rubber gasket here. This is held in. I'm going to move the camera in a little bit so you can see. This is held in with one of those little push toggles right here. So go ahead and get the small end of your trim tool. I'll pop out that push toggle. Right. And that's what it looks like. Just one of these little push toggles. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and remove this kind of gasket here. And it should just pull off. And let's kind of zoom out so you can see what I'm working with. Pull out this gasket along this way. And then this piece of trim right here will actually just kind of fold down and out of the way. There's one more little push toggle we have to remove right down here. And it kind of just holds this carpeted fabric all in place. Let's go ahead and remove that push toggle too, just to get us access to where we need to go to get all of our wires out. So down here is the main wiring harness power port for your Tesla. So that's where we're going to be plugging in the main end of one of our connections for our blind spot monitoring system. The other end is up here. It's what they call the ODB port. Now I have some additional accessories hooked up to my Tesla, but back in there's a blue port, but mine's kind of moved forward a little bit. So what you're going to be looking for is a blue ODB port back in there and one of these power connections. I have several other devices kind of daisy chained together for my Tesla. But when you come and look at this, it might look a little different for yours. But this is the main power port we're going to be hooking up in the blue ODB port. And that's exactly what you're going to be using for your connections here. So let's get into that. So now that we have our main wiring harness hooked up, you actually have this little tiny control box left over. Very, very simple. Your actual blind spot monitoring system only has one USB-C port on it, and that's the one that you're going to be plugging into that control box. Go ahead and spread those wires out, plug it down to the control box here. Perfect. So after you plug in your main kind of wiring harness and your actual connection to your blind spot monitoring system, you'll notice there's 2 different lengths of cord. One's a short one and one's a long one. The short one's just going to route up where all these other cords are going, and I have it right here. And it's actually going to go right into this spot right here on your actual dash. It's going to tuck in the corner right here. So you're just going to hide it up through all these trim panels and route it around this little piece. Push it in, kind of route that very flat, very flexible cable down and all behind that so you'll never see it. And tuck it down in there, and then you'll just place your actual piece. Let me show you in the camera, move that. And place your actual piece just kind of right in that corner as well. And there's a little rubber foot on it, and you want to make sure that that's kind of facing the ground so it kind of keeps it in a nice tight orientation. Kind of like that. That's it. Let's button this up, and then we're going to head over to the other side and work on the next piece. So as we start to kind of close up this side and tuck all our wires back in, you're going to take your wire that's connected to the other blind spot monitoring indicator, and it's just going to run around underneath kind of this area, all this dash area of your Model Y. These cords are super skinny and super flat. So I just want to show you I have all this kind of uncovered here, is I'm going to start routing it right underneath this kind of trim panel here. Just keep it nice and tight, and it fits in really good. Keep kind of routing, and I'll show you what to do when you get over to your kind of your phone charger area too. So I've routed the wire underneath kind of my glove box area, and just am tucking it into this gap right here. It's a super flat, really flexible wire. You don't have any trouble kind of doing this. The whole point is we want to get this to the other side so that we can run it up and put it in the little blind spot monitoring spot right in the dash, just like the one we did on the left. So I'm going to continue just tucking it in here, taking my time, make sure it looks nice and neat. Don't want any exposed wires. And then I'll see you on the other side. So over here on the driver's side, I have it tucked up all the way above my wireless phone charger. You'll never see that. And I'm just kind of going to come down, follow this trim line right here, right below my steering wheel and right above my kind of footwell here. I'm just going to keep tucking it in. Follow this little trim line, hold that wire nice and tight. You can tuck it up in there. Use your trim tool to push it up in there a little bit more if that's helpful. And the ultimate goal is to get over to this side over here. And we're going to do the same thing where we tuck it in real nice, and I'll show you what to do when you get to this side over here. So we got the wire nicely routed all the way from one side all the way to the other side, and I have plenty of, cord left to get my blind spot monitoring up here into the dash. Let's pop off this trim panel, just like we did on the other side. Get your trim tool in there and just held on by 3 clips once you get your finger in. And let's just kind of move it on up. And it's going to tuck right up in this spot too. Some of the excess cord can stay right in this little side pocket panel. You won't even miss it. You can just work it around this little corner here. So you kind of get that wire through there. There you go. Wires on through. Pull that down and back. Make sure that little rubber foot is on the back, and it just slides right in there. And that's kind of where it stays. Let me button all of this up. I'm going to come give you guys a final look of how it all kind of looks. So we went ahead and cleaned up this side, cleaned up all the trim, got it all installed, ran that wire all along right here, right up above the footwell, right up above the wireless charger, and over to the other side. And this is what they look like. They're little kind of indicators right here. Let's go take the car for a test drive and show off some of the features. All right, we got the product all installed, and now we're driving around in the car. And I want to show you guys some of the awesome features that come with this blind spot indicator kit. It's more than just simple blind spot monitoring. One of the very first things you'll notice here is it has a turn signal indicator. That when I have my turn signal on, it'll have a flashing green light either on the left or the right when I'm actually going to plan to make a turn. So it's just kind of a visual reminder for when you're out driving around. Oops, I left my turn signal on. Or, just another indicator that, hey, my turn signal's on. I'm planning to make a turn here. Really, really cool feature. It's an awesome addition here. The next thing I want to talk about is the blind spot monitoring itself. Very, very convenient and easy. When a car is approaching you from your blind spot monitor without even turning on your turn signal, it lights up in this kind of orange-red light, kind of an amber light. You can see it here on the screen. It lights up on either side whenever there's a car, entering your blind spot monitoring. I love that feature. It's such a useful feature and honestly a safety feature so that you can tell it when a car is right in your blind spot. You don't have to turn on your turn signal or do anything else. Really, really cool. The last feature I want to talk about is when you have a car in your blind spot and you go to turn on your turn signal, it's not going to be that normal amber color. It's going to be a flashing red light. indicating that there is a car in your blind spot, your turn signal's on, use extra caution. So it just really gets your attention, super, super useful. I love these blind spot monitoring indicators. They're super bright even in the daytime. I have no trouble seeing either side of the car. I think it's a really, really useful feature. Well, that about wraps up this video. I think this blind spot monitoring kit is super cool, if not needed for a Tesla. The ability to be able to tell if there's a car in your blind spot without turning on your turn signal, I think it's a game changer. I think it's really necessary for any modern car to be able to do that. I love having it right next to my rearview mirrors where I'm going to be checking anyway, where my eyes are naturally going to go. It makes a lot of sense to have the blind spot monitors right there. And the ease of installation versus trying to route a wire over to your mirror or do something crazy, keep it all inside. You don't have to take apart your dash. You're just easily routing wires underneath your dash in areas that are already there. Super thin, flat wire. So it was a piece of cake. 10 out of 10 on the installation. Very, very easy. Anybody could do this. You guys saw a lot of the different functionality, and we'll just recap it here again. The turn signal indicators. When you're actually using your turn signals, these flash green. That's super cool. When you have someone come up in your blind spot without turning on your turn signal, these flash a nice kind of amber color, letting you know that, hey, somebody's in your blind spot, just be aware. And you can see it very clearly, even in the daytime on both sides. You saw that in some of the footage as we drove around. Also, when someone is in your blind spot, you turn on the indicator, these will start flashing red that says, don't turn yet, someone's in your blind spot. So it'll already kind of be like an ambery peach color, but then when you turn on your turn signal and someone's there, turns a nice bright red. So that's really cool. Just like an indicator warning too. The last thing you can see right here is that it's already flashing red because I have my door open. And that's just another cool feature. You don't drive away with your doors open. I think this is such a great minimalistic way to add blind spot monitoring to your Tesla. If you don't want a front dash screen that already does some of that blind spot monitoring, this is the most minimally invasive way you could possibly do it. This is a game-changing product from Tesla C. So highly recommend it. 10 out of 10 from me. Make sure you guys check it out. There's a link to this product down in the description from Tesla C. When you order anything from Tesla C, make sure to use the code GAMBLE1080 right here on the screen, and it'll save you big. It'll save you some good money when you check out this product. So make sure you check that out. If you're interested in any of the other products that I've reviewed on my channel, they're all down in the description in my link tree. So make sure you just click on the link tree. I'll have a showcase up here on the screen where you can see all the products that I've reviewed from my channel. And there's a video associated with all of them. So make sure you check those out too. Thank you guys for coming back to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day.